Alexa, stop. What's going on, y'all? Told y'all I'd be back. For those who don't know, we were streaming the. Hold on, I answered recently. It was only generating royalties. Um, yeah, so sorry about that. Um, yeah, we were streaming the Rainbow Six Siege event earlier today. So Rainbow Six Siege had their Siege X um, live stream event down in Atlanta earlier. Actually, maybe not even an hour, about an hour and a half ago. So we were checking that stream out. We were co-streaming it and you know, getting a look at Rainbow Six Siege, the next, basically the next chapter of it. Looks really awesome. Can't wait to hopefully find time to play. But we're not here to talk about that right now. We are live on Alpha Esports Technology and Alpha Cybersecurity YouTube and Twitch channels to jump into, I think this is day 13 of the Appsec Rabbit Hole. So yesterday we talked about JavaScript, and today we're going to get into databases with SQL fundamentals. So if you have any comments, questions, concerns, you just want to chop it up, chat, go ahead and do so. Just remember to keep it respectful, and I'll be sure to answer the questions when I see them. So again, I just want to keep. I just want to just. I want to take a moment again to say thank you to everybody who has, supported not just the stream, but also myself. Everything that we talked about during the week. I even talked a little bit about some of the burnout and some of the difficulties I had earlier. And again, we can talk about it a little bit more. Like I said, I feel like um, it's important to talk about it, especially as men. It's important to kind of talk about some of the challenges um, that we face, because you never know who might be also going through something similar, and something that you say or an idea that you present or something that you suggest may be the missing piece to help them. So, so we were talking earlier during the Rainbow Six Siege event, and I was just talking about how I really fell out of love with gaming, and it was had nothing to do with gaming. It had everything to do with just me wanting to be um, as good as I possibly could be in my career, considering some of the I'm not going to say disadvantages because it was a choice not to go to college, but given some of the challenges that were there. Let's go ahead and share this screen real quick. And hold on one second, y'all. Let me get here first so we can share that, and then I'm going to hit mute. All right, sorry about that, y'all. That was had to schedule an appointment for my car. Okay, so SQL, standard query language, database query language made by Microsoft. Basically, databases are storage. Think of it as just like a storage, almost like a storage container for data. And then SQL, the language, allows you to query for that data. Okay, so just kind of in a nutshell. It's important for websites and web applications because that's where they access those databases to get information, whether it's your user information, whether it's like account information. They have what's called tables, and then inside the tables there are rows and columns, and then they also have they have ID, basically where you can find your list of information. And then from there, so websites, web applications use them on a regular basis. However, they're important to cybersecurity professionals because, especially from an offensive security standpoint, or even a defensive security standpoint, but for offensive security, that's important because if you can dump a database, there's a ton of information you can get there. SQL injection used to be one of the most popular um, vulnerabilities that were out there. In fact, it was the number one rated vulnerability for years up until I think 2023, 2021, 2023. So up until a few years ago, SQL injection was the number one rated vulnerability. I want to say for like probably 10 to 12 years. Um, most of the major breaches that happened in recent history or in the last 10 years, a lot of that has been SQL injection. So uh, Equifax, TJ Maxx, I think 7-Eleven, There were like I said, there was a ton of them. So anyway, so from an offensive side, it's just a ton of information. From a defensive side, obviously you want to protect that because it's a ton of information. So so with that, let's go ahead and hop right in. So try hack me the introduction. Talk about cybersecurity being a broad topic that covers a wide range of subjects, but few of those are ubiquitous as databases. So whether you're securing an application or working in a SOC or using a SIM tool, configuring user authentication and access and control, you are using malware analysis and threat detection, you're going to be relying on some type of database. So remember, I was saying that whatever. So, for example, offensive security helps. It can help better understand SQL vulnerabilities, such as SQL injections, that creates queries to help us tamper and retrieve data when on a compromised service. On the defensive side, it can help navigate through the database to find suspicious activity or any relevant information that can help us better protect the service. So now that's just kind of prerequisites. Um, so we don't need to worry about that. So it's going to go. So the next thing is going to jump into databases. So like I said, databases are something that pretty much every application has. They're just like I said, it's a collection of data. So it says here, databases are organized collections of structured information or data that's easily accessible and can be manipulated and analyzed. Okay, so the data can take anything is authentication data, which is stored and checked against when users are trying to log into the machine, or log into an application or a website. There's user-generated data on social media, where data uses where you can pull the social media posts, any type of comments, likes, basically anything on social media that's collected and stored in a database as well. If you're on YouTube, your watch history, that's going to be stored in a database. If you watch anything on Netflix, your Netflix and chill history, that's going to be stored in the database as well. And all of that gets used by the application to help your experience, right? So if you're watching me right now, your watch history is that's going to get stored in the database, and then it's going to use their algorithms and all of that nonsense to be able to generate more recommendations of things you should watch based on your watch history and your statistics. Okay. So when you talk about databases, you have relational databases and then you have non-relational databases. Essentially, relational databases, they're organized, they're structured. Non-relational databases are not as structured. Okay, so it's relational databases, store structured data, meaning the data inserted follows a structure. For example, the data collected on a user consists of first name, last name, email address, username, password. When a new user joins, the entry is made in the database following that same structure. The view structured data is in stored rows and columns in a table, okay. Relationships can be made between the two or more tables. For example, user and order history. So that's why it's called relational databases. Non-relational databases, they store data in a non-tabular format. For example, if a document is being scanned, which you can contain varying types and quantities of data and are stored in a database that calls in a non-tabular format. So here you can see it's kind of almost like in a key value pair. So again, you have name, so that's your value or that's your key, and then you have the value. So here it's the ID, you have your object ID and then your ID here. Name, that's your key, and then your value, first Thomas, last Anderson. And again, they're basically they're in there. So it kind of is very similar to what we looked at with JSON format the other day. Even when we were typing it up, that you see here, and then it's separated by a comma. Okay, occupation, the one, steps taken, and then here. Okay. So in terms of the database, of what database should be chosen, it comes down to the context in which the database is going to be used. Relational databases are often used when the data being stored is reliably going to be received consistently or in a consistent format where accuracy is important, such as processing transactions. Non-relational databases are better used when being received, when the data can be received but collected and organized in the same place, such as social media Okay, so it all depends on what you're going to do, uh, on how you should structure your database. So if you're going to have, you know, user information like authentication credentials, if you're gonna have information like, transaction history and maybe watch history, that's probably going to be in a structured relational database, whereas you just need to kind of collect certain information like, social media posts, or just things that I wouldn't say aren't as important but aren't crucial to the, I guess, to the overall function, and you just need to store it. That would be the non-structured stuff. So tables, rows, and columns. So when you look here, you have the table. Your table would be basically books, right? So books would be the table. Your rows is row 4. So if you look at ID 4, and then for ID 4 is designing structure software, secure software, and the publish date. That is a row. Okay. So rows go across and columns go vertical. Okay. So this name here would be a column. So ID is a column. Name is a column. Publish date is a column. ID going across, those are rows. But the whole thing is a table. Okay. Um, so all data stored in the database will be stored in a table. Okay. When creating the table, you will need to define what pieces of information are needed to define the book record. For example, ID, name, and publish date, that would be your column. So again, ID, name, publish date, those are your columns. And then lastly, what goes across, right? So these are the records. So that's your row. All right. You also have what is known as foreign keys. Okay, so here you have your primary key, which is the ID number, right? So ID, Android Security Internals, ID 2, Bug Bounty Bootcamp, ID 3, Car Hackers Handbook, ID 4, Designing Secure Software, ID 5, Ethical Hacking. Funny thing is, I have most of these books. And then you have the author ID, but the author ID is a part of another column, right? So that's why it's a foreign key, because it come is a part of another table. Okay, so here's your books table, and then here's your author ID. So author ID 2, that would that correlates to ID number 2 in the authors table. So that's why they're foreign keys, because they're used in multiple tables. All right. Like I said, I have most of these books. I have 3 of these books. I have Bug Bounty Bootcamp, I have Car Hacker Handbook, and then I have Ethical Hacking. I don't think I have Designing Secure Software. I might have Android Security Internals, but that might be an ebook. Okay, so again, that's known as these are known as primary keys and foreign keys. So the primary key is used to ensure data is collected in a certain column is unique. So that means there needs to be a way to identify each record stored in the table. So that's why you have ID 1, ID 2, ID 3, right? Okay. And then foreign keys is a column or multiple columns in a table that exists in another table within the database. So again, these are the IDs in the authors table. So they are essentially the foreign key is the primary key in the authors table. So, because it's being referenced here, it's being used in both. Okay, so they're linking these two together. Because if you go here and you're like, okay, well, let me check the author ID, and then you could check the author's table to get the name of that author based on the ID. Okay. All right. So, what type of database would you consider using if you're going to be if what you're going to be storing varies greatly in format? That's going to be a non-relational database. All right. And what type of database would you consider if you're going to be storing? So that'll be relational database. In our example, once a record of a book is inserted into our books table, it will be represented as what in that table? What are we talking about here? It would be in a row. Okay, what type of key provides a link from one table to another? That's our foreign key. And then what type of key ensures it's unique within the table? That's the primary. I'll just type that one. Hold on. My page has been mentioned. Yay, my page has been mentioned. Who mentioned my page? Okay, I have to send a text message. Stay focused here. It's like, ooh, squirrel. Like it's been crazy, man. Hold on. Okay. Uh, Sorry about that. All right. So that pretty much is the basics of databases. Does anybody have any questions? Again, shout outs to everybody who's watching on our YouTube channels and our Twitch channels. Got a few people checking in. I appreciate y'all. Also, thank you. I don't know if Ty's watching, but I appreciate it. If you scan this QR code, I promise it's nothing malicious. But if you scan this QR code, that goes to my Buy Me a Coffee page, and you can donate as low as $5 to buy me a coffee. Essentially, actually, let me see something. Let me make sure that it still goes there. Yep, cool. All right. So, like I said, so appreciate it. Like I said, we've gotten a couple donations the last couple days. So shout out to y'all for that. Shout out to Ty and shout out to Ozy. Give me 1 second. It's a business call. All right, I am back. Sorry. Again, I got all type of calls. I got consulting calls, I got coaching calls, ah, had it. That was one of my players. So, it's crazy. I never thought I would be a coach. I mean, I guess in a non-traditional way cuz right cuz you got some dads who are like little league and little like Pop Warner coaches or AAU coaches. Um, I never thought I would, right? I mean, I did a little bit with when my son played soccer. I was like an unofficial coach because I was at the practices and learning the stuff. And now here I am. I'm an esports coach. I never would have thought that. I never would have thought it took me there. But like I said, sometimes you got to you got to step out and be the change you want to see. Is like what I always say. All right, so SQL. Um, so SQL is known as a standard query language, but it's also the database. It's also known as a database management system. Okay, so the database management system is exactly what it sounds like. It's the management system that the users would access to query the database, right? So if you want to interact with the database, if you want to um, pull any information out of the database, you would do. Man, look, you ain't got to apologize to me, man. Thank you for tuning in. Need to no, you need to improve your communication skills. Is that what the manager said? Um, like I said, you ain't got to apologize. Like y'all are choosing. Y'all could be anywhere in the world, but y'all here with me. So I appreciate you tuning in whenever you can and however you can. And besides, we don't have any set times, right? Some days I stream at 4, some days I stream at 6, some days, I mean, earlier today I streamed, I just hopped on stream at like 1:30 because I wanted to co-stream the Rainbow Six event. So you ain't got, like I said, you ain't got to apologize, man. Like I said, I appreciate you tuning in. All right, so database management systems, they're software programs that help you interact and retrieve data from the database. Okay, interaction between the end user and the database can be done using SQL, which is known as the structured query. Did I say standard? Or I think I said structured query language, right? Like my brain is freaking mashed potatoes. But SQL, the structured query language, is the programming language that could be used to query, define, and manipulate data in a relational database. So remember, relational database structure. What's going on? Okay, no problem, man. I appreciate you too, Canby, man. Like I said again, y'all could be anywhere in the world, but y'all tuned in here, so I appreciate y'all even just kind of hopping on stream and supporting and getting the algorithm jumping. I appreciate it. All right, so SQL is pretty much common in all databases because of a few reasons. One, it's been around pretty much the longest, but it is faster than most databases, allowing you to return a whole bunch of data like quickly. It's easy to learn. SQL isn't a hard language to learn, honestly. Like there's cheat sheets and guides all over the internet. Like you don't have to just like anything else these days, you don't have to know everything by heart. You can literally get a cheat sheet or Google what you want to query at that time. It is reliable, as most relational or structured databases are. So basically, that allows it to be more accurate, and then also it's flexible. So it has a bunch of different capabilities. We're going to go ahead and start the machine because we're going to be starting with MySQL. We're going to be doing some stuff with MySQL in our Linux box. So while we're waiting, if you are interested in watching and supporting the esports stuff, we'll be streaming our Fortnite esports match tomorrow on our Alpha Esports and Technology channels on YouTube and Twitch. So you can, and Facebook, so you can tune in there. The team is still undefeated. Last week, I'm not gonna lie, I streamed it, but most of the stream is just gameplay because it got real quiet. Because it got crazy. That match was crazy. Like they were. So just to give a quick rundown of how the Friday Fortnite matches work. So Fridays they play as a 4-person squad, and they play what is known as zone wars. So think of it as it's Fortnite. So it's a battle royale, but you're playing as a 4-person team in a very small map. All right. So like the map is just like a small town. And and you have to eliminate the other team quickly, because if you don't, you'll run into the storm you'll get caught in the storm. So for those who may not know how battle royale games are, as you start off in a large map, and then as the game progresses, you get caught in a storm, and the storm takes away your health, right? So in Warzone, it's like toxic gas, right? Fortnite is called the storm, and it's like it basically poisons you until you're out of health. So in this match, the storm closes in very quickly. Like I think most matches, not the match or the round. Most rounds don't last more than 3 to 5 minutes at best, because it's such a small map and the storm comes in quickly. So you're forced to either eliminate the other team or basically collect as much health packets as you can, so that you can stay alive in the storm longer, and outlast the other team. But how it works is there are 5 rounds in a set, and you have to win 3 out of the 5 rounds to win the set. And then you have to win 3 sets to win the match. So we played against a team, I forgot where they're out of, but I forgot what state they're in. But they pretty much like kicked our behinds the first 2 sets, right? So they beat us. I think the first set they beat us 3 rounds to 1. And then I think the second set, I think they also, was it a 3 rounds? I think it was 3-0 the second set. So now we're down 2 sets. And so that means they were 3 rounds away from winning the entire match. Now, mind you, my team has been undefeated now this is the second season we have not lost. We won the championships in the fall, and now we were 4-0 at the time last week. So we get into the third set. The other team quickly takes a 2-round to nothing lead. So they are on match point, right? So the next win, that was it. We call a timeout. I pretty much told them, like, look, how bad do y'all want to stay undefeated, And they then proceeded to pull a reverse sweep. So they won the next 3 rounds, which gave us that set. Then the next one, we won 3 rounds to 1. So now it was tied 2 sets to 2. And then the last set, it was last set, last round. So we won. So we won the first round. They won the next 2 rounds, which put them at match point. We won the next round, and then it went to game 5. So game 5, round 5, and we pulled that one out. So it was a close win, but it was exciting. And like I said, we actually have I have the stream on the Alpha Esports and Technology channel if anyone is interested. And we have our next match next tomorrow. So we have a match tomorrow at 4:30. So we'll be streaming that match as well. So so yeah, I know we were talking. I know we're in Try Hack Me world, but I just wanted to talk about it because, like I said, it was a really exciting match. So that's, like I said, I never pictured myself being a coach, but now I'm in here like I want to be like the Phil Jackson or Bill Belichick of esports. All right, so let's get into some practical. So we're going to log in to MySQL. We're going to do that with the MySQL command. Learn how to type. We're going to do -u to call out the user, and the user is root. And then we're going to do -p to tell it to prompt us for the password. And then once we get to the password, what does that say? And the password is try hack me. And now we got through there, and now you see we are in the MySQL monitor. So now if we have any questions or anything like that, we can do a /h or type help to get more information. Okay. So it says what serves as the interface between a database and an end user. That is a database management service, a DBMS. And then what is the query language? That is SQL. And now we're done with that. So now we're going to get into some more practical stuff. All right. So now if we want to create a database, we can do that, and we'll just type in create database. And then we're going to call okay, fine. We're not going to do it. We're going to say, because yesterday we varied off, and I think that's why we weren't able to obfuscate anything. Yikes. Let's get out of here. Come on. Got it. You can't forget the semicolon. All right, so we have one row affected. We created a database. And now if we type in show databases, I just did it again. Come on. I did the wrong slash. I hate gets on my nerves. All right. /C. Okay, fine. All right. Now if we want to, so again we have to do show databases semicolon. And now when we look into the databases, you'll see there is the THM bookmarket DB that we created. All right, and it looks like there's a flag here, but we'll get back to that. All right, because now it wants us to use the database. So we'll go ahead and use, and Aaron is going to say database changed. And it was like, and basically, if there was anything in here, we would be able to put stuff in there. All right, and now if we wanted to drop the database, to remove the database, we would remove, although in our case, so it's just telling us if we wanted to drop the database, we could drop it. So let's, just for the sake of doing this, let's go ahead and create a new database. So let's call it create database, and then we're going to call it please subscribe subscribe DB semicolon. All right. And now when we show databases semicolon, we should see the please subscribe DB, which it is right there. So now when we want to delete it, we're just going to type in drop database, please subscribe DB semicolon. And now the drop database, so that says it's okay. And now if we show the databases again, we no longer see please subscribe database. All right. So now we want to go ahead and create a table. So following the logic of the database statements, we have to create a table. So we're gonna say create table, example table name. And then we're gonna create the different columns. Okay. So as you can see, blah, 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 blah. So we're going to populate our database. Okay, so again, I think we need to do use database THM underscore book market underscore DB semicolon. Nani? Oh, I don't have to do use database. I don't have to put database. All right, so now we are in, it says we are in the database. And now we want to go ahead and create a table called book inventory. And then we want to have parentheses, I feel like, I don't know, we're going to create, it says book ID, INT, auto increment, primary key. Make sure I spelled everything right. Okay, comma, book name, varchar 255, not null, comma, and then publication underscore date, date, and then we'll close parentheses and then have our semicolon. Okay, query okay, roles affected. Okay, so what we did there is we created a table called book inventory. So remember, if we go back here, no, we'll go back. It was in database 101, but here, let's just hold on. SQL database. Come on. Thank you. All right, let's talk about this for a second. So what we did was we created a table called book inventory. Now remember, the table is the entire database table. And then we created our columns, right? And our columns were book ID, book name, and publication date. So remember, columns go vertical, rows go horizontal. Okay, so we have our table called book inventory, and then we have our columns of book ID, book name, and publication date. Okay, so book ID is going to be an integer, which means it's going to be represented by a number. So that's what the INT was, right? When you see book ID INT. And then the auto increment basically is saying every entry auto increment. So whatever the first number is, probably be number one. After that, increment automatically. So the next one would be number two. Next one will be after that, number three, so forth, and so on. Okay. And then lastly, we have the book ID. The book ID is going to be that primary key, and which means, well, that's how we'll uniquely identify it, right? So book ID one is a primary key, so that'll always be how you'll be able to identify that book. Okay. Then we have book name has the data type of varchar or variable characters. So that can be text, that can be numbers, that can be it have any type of punctuation. And the 255 means that's the max limit of characters that you can set. And then not null means it cannot be empty. Okay, so basically the book can be the book can have any numbers or characters in it. And you can have a maximum title up to 255 characters. I don't know any books out there that have a title that is 255 characters, but you have a maximum of 255. And the only requirement is that the book title cannot be empty. Lastly, you have the publication date column, and that data set type is to date. So basically, it has to be month, year, day, year, or whatever format. Okay, it has to be a dated format. Okay. So now if we wanted to check that, we could just type show tables, and you'll see the table has book inventory. And then if we want to know what columns are in there, we would just type in describe book inventory. And now you'll see exactly what we're talking about. We see our columns. We have our book ID, book name, publication date. We have the type. So we have the integer, variable characters, and then we have the date. Okay. Null. These don't have that set. This one does. I have a null date set. Book ID is set to the primary key. And then here you see the ID set, the book ID can get set to auto increment. Okay. Now, if we wanted to append or alter or make changes to our table, we can type in the command alter table. So alter table book underscore inventory. Okay, and then we want to add page count, and we want that to be an integer. Okay, so now if we describe our book inventory again, you'll see we have a book ID, we have our book name, we have a publication, and now we have a fourth one for page count. Okay. So if we wanted to drop the table, we would again just do what we did before. Well, we're still working in this, so we're not going to do that. All right. So if we wanted to list the database again, that would be show databases. And again, it's cool it's good to know the basic commands and the basic syntax. But if need be, again, you can Google it. Like when I first started doing pen testing and doing SQL injection stuff, most of the stuff I used was and from a cheat sheet. As a matter of fact, I probably still have the cheat sheet. In a list of available databases, you should also see task for DB. Set this as your active database and list all tables in that database. All right, so if we want to do that, we would type in So we would use was it task underscore 4 db reading table information for complete database change. Okay. All right. And now I want to do show tables. I did it again. And then show tables. You hitting the SQL part of your book. See, well, look at that. That's right. You were working on SQL. So what I did here was I switched to the task 4 database, and I did that with the use task 4 db command. And then you see it said database change, and then I just said show tables, and in there was my flag. So I can go ahead and paste this, hit submit, and we are good to go. So CRUD. CRUD stands for create, read, date, delete. And I actually I didn't come across CRUD for SQL stuff. I came across CRUD. Oh man, I am not qualified. I am not. I'm not even gonna say I'm not qualified. I just don't know if I want to be a CISO. Someone sent me a thing asking there was an opening for a CISO position. I'll be honest with you, I probably wouldn't be qualified for it anyway because they probably want a college. They probably want a college degree. You know, the crazy part is I probably could. I probably could be a CISO if I got out my own head. I just don't want to though. Shoot, I'm fighting. I'm fighting for time right now. I don't think I'd ever. I think my family would have a whole fit. I don't. And besides, I don't think I could be a CISO and run a gaming center. I would definitely have to hire people. But that's a hell of a salary that they're looking at. They're asking for they're offering 275. 275 with equity. I don't know, chat. I don't know. I don't know. It's not that I don't know. I honestly feel like if I wanted to, I probably could. If they would even if I would even make it out of the interviews, but because there are a ton of qualified, talented people out there right now. Um, so, but if I were to be chosen for a CISO role, I think I could do it. I just don't want to take on that stress though. Like, you tell people, oh yeah, dream big, aim high, and all of that, and it's like that's cool, but at the same time, it's like you got to know your limits, right? And me knowing what I want to achieve outside of here with the center and everything, and then um also being having that time for my family. Um, like I said, CISO job is not for the weak, especially in the current climate of cybersecurity. But I appreciate you thinking of me and sending that to the person who sent that to me. I appreciate you. I'm honored that you would think of me. All right, so CRUD, create, read, update, delete. This is basically basic operations in any system that manages data. So I first came across CRUD with APIs, and I'm pretty sure we're going to get into APIs later on down the line or later on down the rabbit hole. But essentially, that's it, right? You want to. It's like keep it simple, stupid. Whatever it is you want to do, you sure that it has those basic operations, right? So create, read, update, delete. Okay. If you think of anything that I'm not. No, let's save that for later. Okay. So when talking about MySQL, the create operation is what you would use to create new records. Okay, so now, like, if you wanted to create new records, you would type in the insert into. Okay, so you would go insert into books, and then you would have the ID, name, publish date, and description, right? Are you asking us to type this in? No, or are we typing it in right now? Maybe. Okay. Okay. So create operation will is shown below. So we're going to say MySQL insert into books. Let's just go ahead and. Oh wait, where are we? Should we be? Let's go back to. Let's go back to our book market. So use THM book market DB. Are you serious? It has to be exact. And now remember, let's go ahead and show tables. And then we'll just remember, we'll do describe book inventory. So we have book ID, book name, publication date, page count. All right. So the create operation will create new records in a table. In MySQL, this can be achieved by using the statement insert into as shown below. As we can observe, the insert into specifies the table, in this case is books. All right, let's see if it'll let us. Oh, come on. Yeah, okay. I didn't think so. So maybe they weren't telling us to. We'll be using the books as the. Oh, sorry, because we are in the wrong database. Learn, pay attention, Devin. Use CHM books. Okay. Okay. Okay, let's try this again. So I guess we're going to have to type it in. So insert into books, ID, name, publish date. And as you can see, there aren't spaces. You have to make sure there's like an underscore. Okay. Description. We're going to close the parentheses. Then we're going to go space. Values. 1. And the difference here is, you see, is because it's in a title and it has the quotation marks. So it reads that as a whole entry. Okay, then it was 2014, 1014. description is an in-depth guide to Android's security architecture. Okay, now we can close parentheses and semicolon. We hit enter, duplicate entry for books primary. Oh, again, I need to read. This operation already exists. Jeez. Oh gosh, we're wasting time. All right, so let's go select wildcard from books. And basically what we're telling it is now we want to select all the information that they have from this table. All right, so we actually have this information already. So if we wanted to, because I want to be different, let's go ahead and let's add something to it. So there are 6 entries. So this will be entry number 7. Just so you can see it. Application security rabbit hole 2025. Oh no. What just happened? Oh, come on. Really? That's what I get for wanting to be different. Oh, duplicate entry 7. There we go. All right, so now when we go back and do select from books, you'll see ID number 7. The name is Appsec Rabbit Hole. The published date was today. And then the description is a deep dive into the world of Appsec. Please subscribe. See, you gotta be a little different. But again, let's go ahead and we checked that out. So now we did this. So we did select, right? So we said select wildcard, and that gave us all the information saying that all the columns should be retrieved. If we wanted to, remember what I told y'all yesterday about people just kind of putting their head right into like in there and just like looking. It's like, dude, just open the door. Open the door. All right, so if we wanted to look specifically into a specific column, we could type in select, and then we'll do name and description from books. So now we just said, show us the name and the descriptions, right? So before it showed us the ID, it showed us the name of the book, it shows the publish date and the description. Now, if you look, we just said give us the name and give us the description. Okay. So now if we wanted to update it, we would just type in update books. And then what we're going to do is we're going to set description to equal we're going to say we need more subs on Twitch too, because we do. All right. And then we're going to say where ID equals 7. Come on. All right. So I guess I shouldn't have done it that way. That was wrong. All right. So update books. Fine. I guess we'll just have to write it as one query. Set description equals please sub to Twitch 2. We need more Twitch subs. Okay, and then where ID equals 7, semicolon, enter. All right, so now it says rows matched, rows, then this is changed with no warnings. So now if we go ahead and let's check the name and description again. As you can see, Appsec Rabbit Hole now says, please sub to Twitch 2. We need more Twitch subs. All right, so now we just did update. So lastly, we can delete. So we've created by creating an entry into the database. We read it when we looked at when we queried for the name and description. We updated it by updating the description, and now we're going to go ahead and delete. So now to do that, we're just going to hit delete from books where ID equals. Actually, we're not going to delete ours just yet because there was a duplicate entry. So we're going to delete number 6. I don't want to delete mine yet. So we have that. Now let's see. So now, as you can see, ID number 6 was deleted. All right. So create was the insert statement, read was the select statement, update was the update statement, and then delete was the delete statement. So now it says using the tools DB database, what was the name of the tool in the hacking tools table that could be used to perform a man in the middle of the attack? All right, so to do that, we need to use the tools database. Okay, so now we can. So now, in order to do that, we're going to show tables. Okay, so hacking tools. So tables and tools DB. So let's see, we're going to use hacking tools. Oh crap. Using the tools DB database. What is it? Okay. I need to do was a select. Select star from hacking tools. There we go. So the tools, we have a Flipper Zero, OMG cable, Wi-Fi Pineapple, USB rubber ducky, iCopy XS, a land turtle, a bash bunny, and then a Proxmark. So the answer to the question is Wi-Fi Pineapple. And then using the tools DB database, what is the shared category for both the USB rubber ducky and bash bunny? You say USB rubber ducky and bash bunny. Was that USB attacks? Now, what it wanted us to do is we would say, so instead of saying select wildcard, we would say select category, right? But now that just gave us the category. We need to actually do select name and category. So we would get that information there, so it looks a little bit more cleaner. And you can see USB attacks and bash bunny, right? Or we could say select. Let's see if it'll let us actually do that. So USB rubber ducky, comma, bash bunny, comma, let's see if it'll let you do that. Weird. Okay, well, it looked kind of messy, but I thought we did it. But now it said it changed everything to US rubber ducky and bash bunny. It's changed all the selections. So then what we would do is select ID, name, and category. Okay. We're not going to get into all of that. All right, because we still got 3 more sections before the conclusion. And then, like I said, we're already at an hour, almost an hour and a half. All right, so clauses. So a clause is a part of a statement that specifies the criteria of the data that you're manipulating. Okay, usually by an initial statement, clauses can help us define the type of data and how it should be retrieved. In the previous task, we already used some clauses like from that is used to specify the table which we are accessing, where which specifies which record should be used. This task will focus on other clauses like distinct, group by, order by, and having. And this task will use the books table that is part of the THM books. So we're already in we're not in THM books. We have to go back. So use THM underscore books. Let's move back over there. All right. So the distinct clause is used to avoid duplicate records when doing a query. So again, if we do, we deleted it. It's not going to work. Remember I said I saw a duplicate and we deleted it. So now we can't do a distinct. But let's just try it anyway, just so you can see. So since there was a duplicate before, we would have to do select distinct name from books, and then it would show up like this, and then you would only see the ethical hacking once, but we kind of deleted it. Sorry, didn't know it was part of the exercise. Well, at least y'all know I'm not like working ahead. My bad. All right, so the group by clause aggregates data from multiple records and groups them into similar query results in columns. All right, so we need to do the same thing. So we're gonna go select name count wildcard from books, and then we're going to say group by name. So here you go. So okay, so you see here it grouped everything up. That's because they all have one count in them. Now if we had that ethical hacking one that accidentally got deleted, sorry, you'll see it would have said 2, and it would have grouped that by the count. Okay. So the next one we need to do is the order by. So we'll just select name. So we'll just do select wildcard from books, and then we're going to say order by publish date, ASC, colon. So now you see it's ordered by publish date, and it's going in ascending order. So that's what the ASC stands for. So ascending order is basically from bottom to top. So from 2014, 2016, 2021, 2021, 2021, 2025. Now, if we did the ascending order, DESC, you'll see that it will go now 2025, 2021, 2021, 2021, 2016, 2014. Okay. And then the having clause is used with other clauses to filter groups. All right. So in order to do, it evaluates the condition to true or false, unlike the where clause, having filters the results after the aggregation is performed. All right. So basically what it's telling us to do here is just going to say, it's saying select name. And then remember, we're doing the count. And again, this might not work because someone deleted the other ethical hacking book from books. and then we're going to group by name, having a name like, and then we're going to do single quotation marks, hack in the name. Semicolon. So now it's going to find anything that has hack in it. Right? Now we can do this another way and say SEC, and then we should get 3 books back. Android Security Internals, Designing Secure Software, and then Appsec Rabbit Hole. Because remember, we said it has to have sec in it, SEC. All right, so using the ToolsDB database, what is the total number of distinct categories and hacking tools? So we need to go back to the ToolsDB database. Whew. All right, so we're going to go to use ToolsDB. And then we need to use the distinct clause again. So we're going to select distinct name from hacking tools. Come on. One, two, three, four, five, 6, 7, 8. So there's 8 distinct tools. Oh, categories. My bad. Oh, come on. Okay, I did categories and not category. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, using the tools database, what is the first tool by name in ascending order? So remember, we have to do select from hacking tools, order by, what is it? Order by name in ascending order. What you mean? Select. Oh, I didn't do the wildcard. There we go. What is the first tool by name? That would be Crash Bunny. Okay, using the tools database, what is the first tool in descending order? So we'll just go here and do descending, and then that would be Wi-Fi Pineapple. Okay. All right. We are more than halfway done now. Well, we were more than halfway a while ago, but because we did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then we have this one, and then one more, right? Yeah, we have that, and then we have functions. All right. So this one's a little bit longer. So we're going to, now this is going to be SQL operators. So operators is another way to filter. So remember what we were trying to do before, that I was trying to filter it, but I think, like I said, I wasn't doing it right. So, but basically we're going to use operators to filter and manipulate data efficiently. So we're going to use THM _ books 2. All right. So now these logical operators return a Boolean value of true or false. So what we're going to do here is we're going to, let's see, make sure that it's telling us we can actually do that. All right. So first let's show tables. So we have books. Okay. All right. So we're going to select wildcard from books where description is like, and then we're going to say, was it yeah, guide. Dang it. Select from books where description like, what did I? You have an error in your SQL syntax. Check the manual. Oh, I did that backwards. Percent quotation mark. There we go. So what we did here was we said, let's search the table for anything that has the word guide in it. And as you can see, in-depth guide, the guide to finding, the guide for penetration testing, the guide for developers. All right. So again, it says, so basically what we said was select all the books from the books table, select all the entries in the books table where the description, where the word guide shows up in the description. Okay. The and operator is if we want to do multiple conditions. So now we're going to say select all titles from the books table where the category equals anything that has to do with offensive security and has the name of bug bounty. It says bug bounty boot camp, but okay, so it's looking for the specific name. So we have to say bug bounty boot camp. And as you can see, it brought back the single book of bug bounty, and it was in the category of offensive security. Okay. So the or operator is going to also combine multiple statements within, but it has to return but it will return if one of those queries equals true. All right. So basically, what it's going to say is do this and give me the results as long as one of them are a true statement. Okay. So that's like that's like saying, hey, give me the information on what's going on, Lou. Give me the information that you have on any record you have regarding uh, Davin and Alpha Burger Joint, right? So it would search the database for everything that has Davin or Burger Joint in it. Now, we know that this is Alpha Cybersecurity and Alpha Esports Technology. There has never been anything about a burger joint. So that would be false. But because we're combining the statements, it's looking for one of those to be true. And my name is a true statement. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and hit select wildcard from books where a name is like, I have to be careful, Android, and then it is percent quotation, or it has a name like iOS, and that is percent quotation. Okay, so now what we're saying is select anything that is in the book table where the name has something like Android, or it has something with a name like iOS. So now it's going to search for anything here and look for what is true and list it. Now we know previously from looking at the list, there's nothing on iOS. There's only Android security internals. So when we hit enter, you'll see Android did return true. So therefore it pulled this information. Okay. Then you have the not operator. So the not is going to reverse the value, so to allow to exclude information. So where we wanted to include anything that had where we wanted to include anything that had uh, that like in there, now we're saying exclude everything that has this. Okay, so for example, in this one, it says, so again, select everything from the books table where there is nothing, so not, in the description that has something in there like, has something in there like the word guide. Okay, so what we told it to do was select everything in that table where there's nothing in the description that has the word guide in it. Now remember, most of the books did have something in the description that said guide. But there was one in here that didn't, and that was the ethical hacking book. All right, and now then you have between. So between allows you to test if there's anything in the defined range. So basically, we're saying give us everything between 2 and 4, right? That's going to be this next statement. So we're going to say again, select all entries in the books table where the ID is between 2 and 4. Oh, I didn't put from books. Okay, so basically we said show us entries 2, 3, and 4, right? Because there's what, 6 or 7 books in there were 6 or 7 books in that table. So how is everybody getting there? Okay, sorry. Again, multitasking here. Interesting. I haven't gotten mine yet. I'll probably wait till tomorrow. All right, so Yo, this is wild. Okay. All right. Stay focused. Stay focused. Stay focused. All right. All right. So, like I said, so between we said, show us the books that are between ID 2 and ID 4. So that's where we got that those results there. All right. And again, just real quick again, shout out to everybody who is watching us on our Alpha Cybersecurity YouTube channel. Also watching us on our Alpha Cybersecurity Twitch channel. Well, no, I'm sorry. Let's go back here. Shout out to everybody who's watching us on our Alpha Cybersecurity YouTube channel and our Alpha Esports and Technology YouTube and Twitch channel. And then if you're watching me on, and if you're watching on Twitch, it's djax_1 because I go back and forth between the cybersecurity and the gaming stuff. So I wanted to change that. But shout out to y'all for watching. Again, shout out to everybody for the continued support. It's been crazy this week. Shout out to everybody who has bought me a coffee this week. You can do that by scanning the QR code right here in the corner, or you can go to, I saw someone ask about it, buymeacoffee.com/djax_alpha. Okay, you can go to buymeacoffee.com/djax_alpha. Like I said, the donations are as low as $5. All right. So now comparison operators. So now if we want to compare values to see if they meet a specific criteria, we would use a comparison operator, and you could do that with an equal to or a not equal to. So equal to, if you're familiar with coding languages like Python or Ruby or anything like that, you'll know that equal to is equal or equal equals, and then not equal would look like something like exclamation point and then an equal. So what we're going to do here is, it looks like it's going to tell us to do, we're going to do an equal to operator to compare expressions, and then we're going to say look for something that's not equal to this. All right, so we're going to again select all entries from the books table where the name is equal to designing secure software. And now it should just find the book that says designing secure software. Okay. Now, if we wanted to do something that is not equal to, we're going to type in something similar, but I'm just being lazy. Where category. So now we're saying select all entries from the books table where the category is not equal to offensive security. So basically we're saying anything that has in the category, check the category section or check the category column and make sure to give us everything that is not related to offensive security or does not have the word offensive security in it. So when we go ahead and check it, you'll see the category is defensive security. So it got rid of anything that was offensive security. So anything that was in the category that wasn't offensive security is in this list right here. Okay, then you have your less than and greater than operators. So those are pretty self-explanatory. So for example, in this In this situation, it's going to tell us that they want us to select anything in the books category or anything in the books table where the published date is less than, so before 2020, January 1st, 2020. Okay. So now we're checking the database for anything that was published before January 1st, 2020. And it came back with 2 books, the Car Hacker's Handbook and then Android Security Internals. Is the Car Hacker's Handbook that old? I have to check. Okay. And now greater than means anything that was published after January 1st, 2020. And then you could do less than or equal to, and then greater than and equal to. So what we're going to, so now this is if you want to get specific, right? So let's do less than or equal to. And now it's giving us a date of 2021, 11, 15. So now what we're going to say is give us any book that was published on November 15th, 2021 or sooner. So now you'll see there's 3 entries that came out before November 15th. Right? Now, if we want to do equal to or, greater than or equal to, we're saying anything that came out after November 2nd. So we'll hit enter and you'll see November 2nd was ethical hacking. November 16th was bug bounty bootcamp. And then December 21st was designing secure software. All right, so now we need to go back to our tools. Oh, toodles. Any parents who have kids should know where that's from. And anybody who basically had kids and kept them during the day, y'all will know. If you have kids right now and they hear that, they'll probably know what I'm talking about. All right, so the first question was, using the tools database, which tool falls on the tool category and is useful for pen testers and geeks? Using the tools database, what tool falls under? So we're going to say select all from hacking tools where category is not equal to. I mean, I could do equal to, right? Equals multi-tool, right? And description. Let me see. And description is, that's what the one I was looking for. Like Pen testers. Crap. Stop it. Unknown column category where clause. Oh man, hold on. Stop doing that. Okay, let's start from here. Let's see what. So we have ID, name, category, and then description. What did I put? I can't use where? Why can't I use where? Like true, false. Where? Oh, because I can't use. I can't use the equal operator for category. Like. No, I don't want to do that. Okay. Where category. Okay, so it doesn't want to use. Okay. I can do that. Category equals. I didn't do parentheses. Okay. I was wondering. Oh my gosh. Semicolon. You have an error in your SQL syntax. Check the manual that corresponds. My gosh. Fam, what are we talking about right now? Ooh, you making me mad. Ooh, you making me mad. Select all from hacking tools, right? Because hacking tools is the okay. Select all from hacking tools where category equals multi-tool and oh, geez. I spelled category wrong. Get it together, Jackson. Man, I'm sitting there, I'm bugging out like I know it was right. Flipper 0. Okay. Using the tools database, what is the category of tools with an amount greater than 300? Greater than or equal to the 300? What category of tool? Using what category of tools with an amount? What is the category of tools with an amount? So we need to do greater than or equal to, but I want to look for, it's not or. Uh, category. Trying to figure out how I want to write this, how this one's going to write out. Okay. Where the category and the amount is greater than or equal to. So I know there's going to be an and operator. What is the category of tools? Actually, no, that might just be a trick question. Select all from hacking tools where amount is greater than or equal to 300. Oh my gosh. 300. Thank you. All right. Yeah, that was a trick question. All right. Which tool falls under the network intelligence category with an amount less than 100? So let's start with, let's just clean up this one real quick. And we know it's going to be an and, right? All right, so using the tools DB, which tool falls under network intelligence? So that would be a category, correct? Yep. So where category equals network intelligence and the amount is less than 100. And that is our land turtle. Oh, land turtle. All right. Okay, so we got hung up on the question, but we had it, and then we misspelled it. So that's what really messed me up, is that I misspelled it, not we. I'm not gonna take y'all down with me because I wasn't paying attention. All right, so let me see. Oh, okay. All right, functions. When working with data, functions can help us streamline queries and operations and manipulate data. So you have string functions like concatenate or concat. So this function is used to add two or more strings together. It's useful to combine text from different columns. Okay, so let's make sure, where are we? We might need to go back to the books. Let's go back to the books. What was it? TBM books? Use TBM books too. All right, so let's do that. Use TBM books too. So use TBM books too. Because it's not TBM, it's THM books too. I don't know if y'all can tell I'm getting tired. And it's not even from this. It's just, again, it's, we're getting to the end of the week. All right. So we're going to say we want to select concat name is a type of, and then category is book, as book info from books. So it wants to combine or concatenate the name and category columns from the book table, and then create one single one called book info. So basically we're saying combine the name of any book that is a type of in the category of book, and name that, and then move that, create its own table called book info. Okay, so let's just go ahead and it's not going to let me do that. So let's go ahead and type that out. Select concat, and then we want to say name, and then put in parentheses, not parentheses, quotation marks, is a type of, okay, and then we want to also get the category, and then we want to do that, book dot close parentheses, and then we want to say as a new table called book info from the books table. So now what it did was it took the information, and I actually should have spaced it out more. As you can see, it didn't space out right. So there we go. Now we fixed it. All right. So now if we want to concatenate data from multiple rows to make one field, we're going to use the concat group call. So here we're going to say we want to we're going to query these books and combine the titles with each category into a single one, right? So we're saying give us all the defensive security books into one category and all the offensive security books into one category. Give me 1 second, y'all. All right, y'all. I'm back. Whew. All right. So again, shout out to everybody who is watching us from. Looks like we got a bunch of people on YouTube right now. Like I said, if you want to go ahead and leave something in the comments, let me know how you're doing. Let me know what your plans are for the weekend. Um, definitely appreciate the support. Trying to see who is on schedule for tonight. See if we can after we're. Nope, doesn't look like any of the squad is on. All right. Let's do this. Where are we at? Where are we at? Where are we? What game is this? Oh, Frag Punk. All right. So now we need to. We're going to group up. We're going to make groups, and we're going to have a name separator, and we're going to call them as books from books, and we're going to group by category. All right. So we're going to do select category, and then we're going to learn how to spell. We're going to learn how to spell. We're going to do group concatenation. And then we're going to have the name as the separator. Separator. Okay, and we're going to have a comma and then another quote. And we're going to close, and then we're going to name, and then we're going to list it as another table called books from our initial table of books. And then we want to group by category. And we're not going to forget the semicolon this time. So now we grouped into two categories of defensive and offensive security, and then we have our list of books. All right. So again, it says here the query above groups the books by category and concatenates the titles within each category into a single string. So you see it's just separated by a comma, right? So we have the name, separator by a comma, and a space. Boy. All right, so now we have our substring. So this is going to retrieve any information from a substring or retrieve a substring from a string within a query, starting with the determined position. Okay, so sounds a little confusing, but we're going to break it down. So we're going to go ahead and hit select, and then we're going to say substring. And now we're going to go here and we're going to say publish. We're going to do the publish date, and we're looking in sections 1 and 4. And then we're going to name, and then we're going to have that named as published year, and we're getting it from our book section. So what we're doing here is we're looking at the first 4 characters from the published date. So again, you'll see select substring, and then we're telling it to look at the published date, and we're telling it to look at the first section, and then the 4 characters. So remember, the published date is it goes year, month, day. Who is that? Change leader, grant writer. Yes, please. All right. All right. So we have our public. So again, the first section of the published date, and then we created a column called published year. All right. Now, if we wanted to combine by length, we would type in select length, and then in parentheses is the name, and then we're going to call it as name length from books. So now what it did was it counted up all the letters in each of the titles and created its own category for the name length. All right. Now, if we needed to aggregate the value of different rows into one specified query, we can combine that. So we can actually count. We can do a count, or we can actually do like a total sum, right? So this first one, we're going to actually count how many books are in there. So we're going to do that by doing select and then count, and then in parentheses we're saying everything, right? and then we're going to create it as total books from books, not box, books, not book, books. Oh, jeez. From books, 5. So remember, there are 5 total books in there. So it just counted everything that was in, it counted all 5 titles or all 5 names and gave us the total number of books. And then if we wanted to get the sum, which is the total number, right, we'll have it check the price section, and then we'll name the section total price, and that is from the books table. Unknown column, price. Am I in the wrong section? Oh, jeez. I am in the wrong section. Oh, again, nope. There's no need to execute this query. This is just for example purposes. Dummy. There was no, I'm sitting there looking like, am I in the wrong one? But we're not. Okay. All right. So now max, this function calculates the maximum value within a provided column. So this one is going to look for the latest book. So if we do select max, and we're telling it to look in the published date column, and then we're going to say create that as latest book from, not from books. Not B-box. Now, oh, y'all can't see. Y'all should have told me y'all can't see my queries. I'm sitting there typing to my heart's content, and y'all can't see it. Why didn't y'all say nothing? Sorry. I shouldn't even be on camera, honestly. I probably should have just moved the camera. All right. My fault. Y'all, I'm sitting there typing and typing and typing. I hope y'all saw them. I mean, I guess it's okay that I was explaining what was happening, and then I guess you saw it after I hit enter for a while. Oh, man. I kind of feel bad now. All right, so using the tools database, what is the tool with the longest name on character length? All right, so we got to go use tools DB. And now we're in the data. We went into the database. Longest name based on character length. Okay, all right, we got to hurry up. So we got to use, we're going to say select length, name. All right, so let's do this. First First, we need to see what we have in here. Select all from hacking tools. Select all from hacking tools. All right. So we need to do select length. Select length, right? So to make sure, yep, select length, name, from hacking tools. From hacking tools. All right. Using which tool has the longest name? Oh, crap. Don't know. I gotta do. Okay, what if we did select max name from, not form, from. No, I don't want to. No, I actually got to do. I have to do the as first. As longest name from hacking tools. And I did it again. Wi-Fi pineapple. That doesn't look right. That doesn't look right at all. Select length from hacking tools. Decent order. Huh? All right, let's come back to that one. Let's come back to that one. Let's come back. Let's come back. Let's come back. What is the total sum of all tools? Okay, so we would have to do select sum amount as total from hacking tools. My gosh, if I don't stop with this stupid semicolon thing, 1444. All right. Using Tools DB database, what are the tool names where the amount does not end in 0 and group the tool names concatenated by and? Select all Where the amount does not end in zero. Where the amount does not end in zero. Hmm. Yikes. Using the tool DB, what are the tool names where the amount does not end in zero? And group the tool names concatenated by and. Fam, what? But well, I don't. Hold on. We need more time. Select category. Huh. Hmm. I don't know. I don't know. Let's think about this again. Let's think about this, y'all. Let's think about this. All right, so let's start from the top. Using the tools DB database, what is the tool with the longest name based on character length? All right, let's try this. And then the hint says use the length function and sort the tool name in descending order. Right? Okay. So let's try this. Select name length. We know that. And then we want name. And we need to create a table because when we did it before, we did select length, name, from hacking tools. So we need to, as name length from hacking tools. What? You have an error check corresponding, right? Use near name as select name. Okay, here, let's come back up here. Select length. No, that's what I did the last time. So it says the right syntax to use near length. Select name. What am I missing? It's gonna be the first time I might have to call a friend. So we have the length. I don't know. I'm stuck, y'all. I think I'm stuck. Okay. Let's go back. Let's go back. All right. So we know it's the length here. Select length name as length from books. Select name length, and then the question said, what is the tool with the longest name based on character length? So we got to do a descending order, right? DSC key descending order. I can't do descending order. You have an error in your SQL syntax. Check the manual that corresponds to your MySQL Server version for the right syntax to use near description. Near descending. All right, let's come back. Let's come back. All right. Using the tools DB database, what are tool names where the amount does not end in 0 and to group the tool names concat by concat? Let's check the concat. The group concat, right? Let's start there. And then ow. And it can't equal 0. All right, so whatever. All right. Let's try this one first. Question says, using the tool, what are the tool names where the amount does not end in 0 and group the tool names concatenated by an and? So we know we want to make this list. We know that we want to concatenate it, so we want to make the separator probably the and. But how do we do the we're substring? Okay, so I know, all right, so I know it's going to be these two right here. It's going to be the group concat. We're going to use the and for the separator. But then, and I'm thinking we're going to do the substring since it wants to get the amount. I think that's the right. We're going down the right path. We're going down the right path. I know. So let's. We're going down. All right. So. This is irritating me. This is kind of irritating me. I'm trying to think here. And I'm still thinking about the first one too. What am I doing wrong? Let me see something. What am I doing wrong? Select name, comma, length, name, as name length from hacking tools. Okay. Okay. We're on the right track now. Using the tool, what is the longest name based on? So now this, okay. Why can't I do descending order? I'm gonna come back for a second. Like where iOS terminal less than, greater than, less than or equal to. Clauses. Can we not use it because that's the last piece. I got it. I got it. I got it. I got it. I was there. I was there. I was there. I was there. Order by name length, descending order. What? Oh. Name length, descending order. What? Select name, length name as name length from hacking tools. Let me get rid of the comma. Figured it out. At least we figured out the first one. Okay, so I was on the right track. So we did select name before, but we didn't have this comma in here. So that's what messed it up. Select name, length name, and then we said as name length from hacking tools. And then we kept trying to do descending order, but we forgot you have to do the order by to call for that clause. So that's what we did wrong. We had it half. We were half right. We were maybe about 60% right. That stupid comma. And then I forgot order by. Okay, so then we got the sum of all the tools. So now we need to figure out this one. So I know with this one, we're gonna need the group concat. We're gonna need to do the separator and use the and to separate. And then we're gonna name it from hacking tools. And then I feel like the substring is going to get used. I just don't know how. The amount does not end in 0. So we know that we're going to do a not 0. But how do you add that with? substring. Hey Google, SQL query substring not equal 0. I know how to write not equals 0. So it says what was the question again? Amount does not end in 0. Substring SQL query substring amount not end in 0. Select. Oh, here I'm on Stack Overflow. Select salary from employees. Substring. Here we go. This looks like okay. -1 equals not equals 0. Let's try that one. So it said substring, right? Count, length, substring. Okay. So we are going to type in. Why is my phone going off? All right. We're going to do select. What is that? Select group underscore concat. And then we said that the question said, is it the name? The tool names. Yep. So, okay. So come back up here. All right. So name and then separator is going to be and, right? And then as no 0 from hacking tools. And then we said where string, not sunstring, where substring, and the substring was amount. And then they said amount, comma, -1, comma, negative 21, negative 1, comma, 1. And then we said does not equal 0. Right? All right. Well, we had to do a little bit of digging, but we found it. Whew. All right. So we had to do select group concatenation. So we were combining. The standard was going to be and, right? Because it said find, combine them, right? So we actually could have did the comma. Oh no, it told us and. Concatenated by and, right? Okay. And then we called it no zero from Hacking Tools, and then we had to look at good old Stack Overflow to get substring, and then this amount -1 to 1, and then it didn't equal 0. There was no 0 at the end. So we can go ahead, paste, submit, and we did it. Yeah, that last section, boy, that last section was crazy because again, it was combining all of them. And like I said, we got the second one. So we got the second one. The first one we were on the right track, but I missed it because of the comma. I got to pay attention to the syntax, honestly. And I mean, as a pen tester, I should know better. As a pen tester, we're taught to pay attention to the error messages because the error messages are usually a great place of information. So I really should have paid attention to that. I really should have. But needless to say, we didn't. And because of that, I missed the commas, and then I got thrown off of my track. I knew I was on the right path, and then I got sidetracked. And then when I kept getting the error messages and didn't know what the situation was, I deviated. And again, that should be another lesson that, don't second guess yourself, right? You know how they tell you sometimes your gut or that first answer when you take it when you take a test, you take a multiple choice test, and you're like, man, that's the answer, and then you go back and you second guess, and then you get it, and then you change the answer, and then you get it wrong. I think that's the same thing that just happened here. So we didn't put in the right command, or we put in the right command, but then because we messed up a couple places, it didn't go right, and we deviated. And then in the last one, we had everything but that -1 for the substring. So not bad. We got it though. All right. So we finished. So just to wrap up, databases are collections of organized data or information that's easily accessible and can be analyzed or manipulated. The two primary types are relational, which is structured, and then non-relational, which is used to store in a non-tabular form. So again, if you need things that are more reliable, more accurate, you want to make sure you're using a relational database. Relational databases are made up of tables, columns, and rows. And then you also have primary keys that make sure that the record is unique with the table. And then you have your foreign keys, which basically can be associated with other tables, with multiple tables. All right. SQL is the structured query language, is used to interact with relational databases. Then you have your database and table statements, as you can use that to create and manipulate databases. You have your CRUD operations. So create, read, update, delete. In SQL, that would be your insert, select, update, and delete commands. In SQL, you can use clauses to define how the data should be retrieved, how it should be filtered, sorted, or grouped. And then you can use operators and functions to help filter and manipulate the data how you need it to do, how you need it to work for you. All right. And again, there are a bunch of cheat sheets. So you can always look up a SQL cheat sheet. All right, so now we finished that. So now the next room is Burp Suite Basics, which we will get into on Monday. So this will probably be a two-part. This will probably be a two-part section. All right, so we'll probably do Burp Suite next Monday and Tuesday. Yeah, because Tuesday we don't have the young kids there Tuesday, and I don't think I have any events lined up for Tuesday. So we'll do that Tuesday. Let's just see where we are in our path. We're still here in web hacking, so we still got to do. So we'll do Burp Suite Basics on Monday and Tuesday, and then Wednesday and Thursday. Well, I don't know about Wednesday. Let's see how I feel after esports practice Wednesday, but tentatively, we'll do Monday, Tuesday, Burp Suite Basics, and then Wednesday, Thursday, we'll do OWASP Top 10. And this is the 2021 OWASP Top 10. Okay? So that's what we'll cover next week, because these are both some lengthy sections. Okay, it says the Burp Suite section should only do 60 minutes, but I'm thinking that we'll probably break some stuff down. I might even go into showing you how to install Burp Suite on your local machine. So before we get into it, so we'll do that. Burp Suite is Monday and Tuesday, and then after Burp Suite, we'll do the OWASP Top 10, which will probably be Wednesday and Thursday if I am not exhausted after esports practice on Wednesday. All right. If we're good, if we do get all 4 days, then we will definitely check that out over there. We'll definitely do that. And then, like I said, I think we'll be good. So, all right, y'all. I'm going to go ahead and get ready to get home. Should I go for another? I might do. I don't know. I might go. Let me not. Don't be surprised if you see me on later doing a little bit of Marvel Rivals. Let's just say that. All right. But I'm not going to say it definitively, because then I, don't want no one to hold me accountable. Couple things, couple updates. We'll have some, I think that, let me see. Okay, yeah. So our Discord, I think the Discord is live. But let me just double check that first before I can, and I'll confirm that for y'all. And but we'll probably be opening up the Discord, the Alpha Esports and Technology Discord. So but there is a cybersecurity section in there. So uh I'll give y'all more information on that soon. But until then, y'all have a good weekend. Tune in tomorrow for our Fortnite esports match if you're into that or you want to come support. Again, it's middle school, so come support the kids. And again, I thank y'all for tuning in, and I will holla at y'all. Well, let's see, we got Fortnite Friday, and then we got Overwatch Saturday morning. So yeah, so I'll be back tomorrow. Dang, I think did I stream almost every day this week? Yeah, I think I streamed every day except Tuesday. So yeah, I'll be back. So y'all have a good night. Be safe, and I'll talk to y'all later.